Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yo, I had to do a video. I know I haven't done a video in a while, but I had to do a video on this movie, Hustle. I don't know if y'all seen it yet. It's on Netflix. Just dropped. If you're a basketball head, if you are a genuine basketball fan, this is a basketball fan's wet dream. This is the type of movie that goes down in the history books with Above the Rim, right? He Got Game, right? Those epic basketball films that you just watch over and over because you just love it. You just love it. Everything about it. I'm going to dive into that in this video. If you like the video, smash the like button. You know what to do. Hit subscribe, the bell for notifications, and all the goods. Yo, this movie, let me just lay it out for you. Adam Sandler and his production company teams up with LeBron James, Maverick Carter, and their production company, and they decide to get the whole NBA and a whole bunch of the greats to just join in on this movie. It has just about every player you could want to see in a film. And the beautiful part about it is it's well written, and I just want to get this part out the way. It's well written. It's well produced. The timing, the character development, the twists, the plot creation, all the things that you want in a good film, right, is there. So it's genuinely a good movie. Like you could watch it with your lady who probably doesn't even maybe even watch basketball, or your friends who might be just novices, and they're going to enjoy the film just for that sake, alone. But on top of that, it's got every great theme that you could want out of basketball. And it has a LeBron James twist. It takes it to the next level. And the reason why I want to say it takes it to the next level is because it brings in this concept that we talk about often in basketball, but the power of narratives in mainstream media. I don't want to give away the movie. I'm not going to do that to you. But with LeBron James, Adam Sandler, Maverick Carter, what they put together here is a movie that allows you to see the development of what it really takes to get into the league, what it really takes to get into the NBA, right? There's all sorts of beautiful little snippets where you have classic street ball players, you got old school basketball players, but they're actually dropping game. They're actually dropping basketball knowledge of what people are looking for. And throughout this movie, you see Adam Sandler, he's the main character. He plays the role of a NBA scout who is looking to become a coach in the NBA, right? Now, this resonates with myself because for a long time I wanted to become an NBA coach. I had huge aspirations for it. That's why I went to school, studied kinesiology, all this stuff, masters in counseling psychology, all this stuff was to become a coach. That was a dream. And so being able to see what it's like along that journey, it was kind of special. It was a little special moment. But Adam Sandler does an amazing job as an actor in this film because he kind of brings some humanness to it, right? It's not just some venture like trying to become a lawyer or a businessman. It's about contacts. It's about relationships. It's about waiting for your break and your opportunity to be able to do something that you love to do. And throughout this film, Adam Sandler's character, Stanley Sugarman, he's an agent who, no, I'm sorry, he's not an agent, he's a scout who gets his opportunity to become a coach, and then it's snatched away from him. And who is it snatched away by? An NBA owner. An NBA owner who is probably of the worst kind. He's your Donald Sterling. He's your what's the Phoenix Suns owner. He's the type of owner that you just love to hate, right? A Dolan type, like just gets in the way of real basketball, right? Does all the things from his kind of petty, prideful, I'm rich and I own the team, and I don't care if I don't know basketball. I think I know it better than everyone else. And if you disagree with me, I'm going to try to take you out of your opportunity, right? And so he's Adam Sandler's character is kind of juxtaposed to this NBA owner. And in the middle of it, you have this player, played by Hernndez Gomez. Um, I think now he plays somewhere between Minnesota and Boston. He's kind of bounced around a little bit, but he actually does a really good job in this film. Not a lot of lines, but his body language, his ability to convey the sentiment of a ball player who's hungry, who didn't think he had an opportunity and suddenly has an opportunity to play in the NBA. And ironically, and I say ironically because it's so the exact opposite of who Juancho Hernandez Gomez is. They have him cast as a defensive-minded forward who can shoot, which Hernandez Gomez does, flat out. He's a shooter. But he's not known for his defense at all. But in this film, I mean, you'd have thought he was Ben Simmons. I mean, he was just a lockdown defender. Now, that's neither here nor there. This is who the character is. And the character is trying to navigate what it means to go through the draft process to get his opportunity. And I love this film because it actually takes you through a draft process, the preparation, the connections you need to have, how you have to prepare yourself mentally, physically, skill-wise. They bring in all sorts of well-known trainers. And this is the beautiful thing that I love about what LeBron James is doing, right? He basically put the whole NBA community on, right? He didn't just put on a couple of players like you might see in a Space Jam, right? A couple of stars, right? He redid Space Jam and had Anthony Davis, right? And then a few other NBA stars, right? No. He puts on everybody. He has everyone in this film, from Trae Young to Aaron Gordon. He's got Jordan Clarkson as a cameo. Anthony Edwards. Yo, my man Anthony Edwards plays an incredible villain. Yo, check it out. My man Anthony Edwards, yo, out of Minnesota, plays probably one of the greatest basketball villain roles. I know I'm going to the top with this one. But boy, I mean, he is just somebody you're going to love to hate in this film, right? You got Kenny the Jet Smith in this movie. You got Mark Jackson, right? Putting on my man Mark Jackson, who was blackballed by NBA owners, puts him on in this film. But more than anything, what this film conveys is understanding how narratives can impact players' lives, understanding how it can impact how a player finds an opportunity to make his way into the league. In this movie, it overwhelmingly shows how these narratives shift and how players are able to gain some autonomy and gain some power and leverage to be able to shift back these different narratives about who they are as a player, what their potential is, what can be expected of them. You know, and you think of how contrary this is because you look at mainstream media outlets like a ESPN, right, who just push dominant narratives, so much so that it almost seems like, well, that's just the whole story. That's all she wrote, right? And many times these narratives reinforce owners' positions, right, that allow them to leverage in contracts when it comes to player negotiations, right? Not just in individual contracts, but in the players' agreement when it comes to the larger NBA and Players Association contracts, right? Now, this is the genius of LeBron James. It's the timing of it. It's the timing of it. When the NBA has been pushing this narrative about because players are sitting out or they're getting hurt, right? And they're saying, hey, you know, owners are definitely going to want some more money back, right? Because how can they give, 49, 50, 51% of basketball related income to these players who are sitting out, right? Which, if you really study the game, you understand the game, you know it's bullshit, right? To give players 50% of basketball related income is to remember that you have owners or ownership groups who are cashing out 50% of basketball related income and the auxiliary income that comes from non-basketball related income that still is connected to basketball. If you want a quick example, owners are able to actually write off on taxes based upon the underperforming of players and their contracts. So if they sign somebody to 150 million, right, and they're paying them 30 million that season, and a player underperforms, let's say they get hurt, let's say they have an injury prone year, right? They can actually write that off as a tax deductible, as a loss, right? And get that back. But guess what? They get to write that off on other businesses, not just the team as a business, but up against any other business, right? Think about the benefits that are there for these owners who are making all this money, who are not playing, who are not the ones who everybody comes to see. Now, the reason why this is a powerful, powerful film in this regard is because it begins to shift power back to players, right? Players who LeBron is putting on. Look, he's out here. When I say there are so many NBA players in this movie, it's ridiculous. You got Chris Middleton is in this movie, right? You got absolutely everybody in this movie playing all sorts of roles, and it's still a good movie. It's not corny. It isn't like somebody's just out there doing a cameo. I mean, yo, they got my man Boban Marjanovic, yo, out there killing. It's hilarious, but it's also good because it reminds us, like, many times we think a player's role on a team is indicative of their talent and what they're actually capable of doing. And we don't realize that a lot of players sacrifice for the sake of winning. They'll sacrifice parts of their game so that other guys can be featured to maximize their team's potential to win. And so as a result, when they begin to show what they can do outside of an NBA game, all of a sudden you're like, oh snap, I didn't know this player was this good, right? And so Boban gives you a little bit of that. But what's really dope about it is you really see this dynamic of what it means to scout a player, what it means to discover a player, what it means to then refine that player and then prepare them to be able to showcase what they can do in a way that says, hey, look, this is my ceiling, but my floor still allows me to be a productive part of winning for any NBA franchise. Yo, this movie is so good. Like, this is going to go down in my favorites. I'm probably going to just download it on my iPad, so anytime I'm traveling, I can pull it up and watch it. I was laughing. I was jumping up, excited. I was frustrated. I was mad for the main character. I was like, come on. I was in it. I was in it. This has to be probably one of the best basketball movies I've seen probably since Above the Rim, which is my all-time favorite, right? Next to He Got Game. But as I say, this movie, yo, if you're a basketball head, you gotta go see it. It's called Hustle. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.